So I was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years, and I wanted to challenge this other part of me that I knew that I had. And it was like, I know that I have something out there to give. I didn't know exactly what it was. Imposter syndrome to a T. I deal with it every single day. I think every time I walk into a room of really intellectual people who have been in the industry for 30 years, it just led me to this idea of, I think it's okay to just go and just do.
She warned him not to be deceived by appearances, for beauty is found within.
It actually makes me a little bit choked up. Don't ever underestimate somebody, and also accept the journey that you've been given. There are those really gory, ugly parts that you think, I'm not going to make it through this.
Yeah.
And then when you do, you go, I'm so much better that I got that opportunity to have that really horrible thing happen.
You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot have both.
100%.
Welcome to Yes and Land, where we say yes to the reality of yesterday and today, and we say and to the possibility, growth, and imagination of tomorrow. Welcome to Yes and Land. So excited to have you here today, Sybrina. We're going to be talking today about some fun things, but as a quick introduction, so you've got this awesome company, Kenbry Capital, and we're going to talk a little bit about your journey to get there, to having this cool company that you're the owner of, which is awesome, and what gave you the strength to do that. We're going to talk about new chapters and taking on new challenges. And we're gonna do that through the lens of Beauty and the Beast today, which is pretty fun. Like one of the best Disney movies ever, right? Early 90s. We call that the Disney decade or the Disney Renaissance, where Disney had struggled for a few years in the early 80s. And then they had this kind of renaissance when they brought on Michael Eisner. Started with Little Mermaid, but then quickly thereafter was Beauty and the Beast, which was just like this huge hit, this phenomenon, right? Amazing movie. Probably shaped your growing up much like it did mine.
Completely.
Yeah. So we're excited to kind of go through what some of that is today with you. So first off, let's start with what your background is. What's your journey, where it started, all the way up into kind of where you are today with your company.
So as far as like my journey goes, so I was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years.
25 years. And how many kids did you have?
I had two kids.
Two
I
kids.
have a son and a daughter. And
So fun.
Yep. Now they're grown up and out of the house and moving on with lives of their own.
Do you have any grandkids yet?
Oh, no.
No, not yet.
Let's not push that yet. Let's not push it yet.
But I hear it's the greatest.
I'm excited for it. I'm very much looking forward to it.
That's what
And
my
sharing
parents say.
this Disney experience with my kids is the one thing that I can't wait for. So so when those little grandies come around, it's going to be a whole nother chapter of what life looks like for me.
Did y'all go to Disneyland at all?
We did. So I wouldn't say that we were a Disney family. We were Disney movie watchers. So we did end up in Disney World a handful of times, and then also Disneyland a handful of times. And funny story, the last time I was in Disneyland was in 2024. And
it's a couple years ago.
Just a couple of years ago. And to go with your kids when they are adults is a unique experience because they have all of the parts of Disney that they remember and they want to get those things in. And you're going, oh, but there's the Peter Pan ride and there's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And you want to have those younger experiences with them. And they're going, oh, no, we have a completely different experience of what Disneyland looks like. So it's fun to kind of see that you don't ever grow out of it. You don't ever grow out of it. When I watched Beauty and the Beast when I was, I'm not going to say how old I was, but when I was younger, it was a different experience as from when I watched it, 5 years ago. And it's like you see the themes. And the thing that's really great about Disney is that the themes fall in line for every age group and everybody can get something out of it. And so
it was interesting when a couple years ago I read kind of the preeminent biography on Walt Disney. And in there it talked about that when he was first making Snow White specifically, right, the first full-length animated feature, he made it designed to be for everybody, including adults. It was not designed to be a kid-only movie at all. In fact, he took pride in the fact that as he made movies, that they were supposed to be for adults as well.
Yeah.
And I think certainly there's some now, because there are so many that were clearly designed for kids. You know, some of those
Sure.
straight to Disney Channel or Disney Plus were designed for kids. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of themes throughout the Disney movies, especially the full-length animated features, that there really are, you know, lessons that you can pull, but also things that are fun for adults to see as well.
Right.
Things that maybe only adults even get as
Yeah.
far as the humor goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't have littles, so I'm sure you don't know Bluey.
I don't know Bluey.
But my goodness, with Bluey, like my kids absolutely love it, especially my 5-year-old. But the writers are so clever, because there's definitely things that as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel those parents' pain with those little ones. Like
Right.
the dad and the mom in that show are hilarious, and it's just great because then I can enjoy it with them.
Yeah.
And it's stuff they don't even understand. Like they have no idea what the pain of the parents is.
Right.
But I relate.
But then it's like you're not in pain watching the show because you're going, oh my gosh, I can completely relate to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like that in some of these Disney movies. And I also think with most things, right, like is anything perfect? No. Could you always make the argument that certain things are outdated? Yes. But I also think when you want to kind of have a growth mentality and learn from things and look a little deeper, there's lots of things that you can learn from.
Yeah.
You know, and in anything that I see or I read, it's never like I'm going to follow 100% of what it says.
Sure.
You know, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let me pull out the good things.
Yeah.
I can kind of disregard the other things. But even when I read like a really good book,
Yeah.
it's that same thing, right? Like, oh, I
All
read
the
this amazing
time.
self-help book, but it's still, I'm going to use like 10% of it.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's the case with Disney movies, especially when I hear like criticisms of some of them. Like, okay, yeah, look, that's fine. Yeah, there's some things that aren't great, but
Yeah.
other things are.
Yeah. I mean, I think about watching Disney movies when I was really young, and it was like, why did they always have that scary part? You know?
Yeah.
And then like even my kids as they were growing up, it would be like they would inch a little bit closer on the couch during, you know, like kind of those more intense scenes, and the score of the movie, just anticipation, and then like the loveliness of like a slower scene. And I think that they're really, really true great storytellers, and just watching that and putting that in line with like it really, our whole lives are a story.
Yeah.
And if we take it too serious and we don't just look at that as, you know what, this is the really, really scary part of my story, and this is the really lovely part of my story where I get to slow down and enjoy this really beautiful scene.
Yeah.
I think that it gives us an opportunity to, you know, just live life in a cinematic way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's part of why storytelling is so important. And it's why throughout human history, we've engaged in storytelling, because
Right.
it's what life is, right? We are all engaged in a story. Are you familiar with the movie Brave?
Yes.
Oh, you are? Okay. I was
Yes.
thinking maybe you weren't because your
Yes.
kids are too old. But
Yeah.
so that movie, speaking of scary parts, like my daughters who are 10 and 5, they still don't love watching it because of the scary part with
Sure.
the bear.
Sure.
The bad bear, right? I think it's
Yeah.
Mordu.
Yeah.
Because it is so scary for them. They're like, no, I don't want to watch that, Dad. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it's really great.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good movie, but
And
they're
at
a
the
little
same
scared.
time, fast forward, fast forward.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, that's what I need to tell them. Hey, we can fast forward past those
Yeah.
couple parts there.
And then one day you'll appreciate it.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So you were a stay-at-home mom for 25 years.
I was.
So what was it that made you decide to do something with business? Like, what did that look like for you?
So I think I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
I've always enjoyed creation. So I like being creative. And when you're a stay-at-home mom, you can have that fall into the sense of decorating your home or making a delicious dinner or, you know, helping your kids get dressed for school. And so creation looks a little bit different on that side. And I wanted to challenge this other part of me that I knew that I had. And it was like, I know that I have something out there to give. I didn't know exactly what it was. And when I was picking my business selfishly, I picked it around my kids.
Sure.
And I threw a dart. And so it was kind of like, what would fit into, both of my kids are college athletes. And so I wanted to have the freedom of traveling to their sporting events. I wanted to have the freedom of when I do have grandkids, I want to be the fun grandma.
Yeah,
Like I
for
want to
sure.
be the first one to call up and say, send them over. I've got them for a week. Take a cruise with your hubby, like whatever that looks like. And so I really wanted the flexibility and autonomy of owning my own business. And so being, I would say, a little bit courageous and fearless in the sense that if I don't try it, I'll never know.
Yeah.
And so I just took a leap and went for it. And here I am 3 years later. And I think that I have another good 15, 20 years left in me.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
have a full another book to go, if you want to call it that. It's a chapter, maybe. I don't know. It might be a series of books that are
Sure.
that are
Yeah.
coming
This might be your trilogy, right? This
It
is
might
like
be
book
my
2 of your trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So this could be book 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So one thing I wanted to ask you about that I just heard is that your kids are college athletes.
Yes.
Which is so interesting. I
Yeah.
think there's so many lessons from kids playing sports.
Yes.
What are they athletes in? What are their sports?
So my daughter was a college rodeo barrel racer.
Whoa,
Yes.
that's intense.
Yes. And so she went to the University of Wyoming and was a barrel racer there.
Which seems like the right place to go if you're in barrel racing.
It was an experience for all of us. And I will tell you, I got to relive my college years through her college years.
Yeah.
We had an absolute blast. She has since graduated and gotten married and moved to Oklahoma with her spouse. My son is currently in his senior year of baseball. My husband hates when I say this, but people will say, "What is your son majoring in?" And I'll say, baseball, because it's what he loves. It's
Sure.
what he's doing. It's his passion. And giving them the opportunity to get lost in both of those things was a real gift for us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Does he have an idea of what he wants to do once he finishes his senior year? Because
I think
sometimes
he
there's a
has
big letdown.
little, yeah, I think he has a little entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
You know, I think that when we sit around the dinner table, we talk about business and we talk about ideas and we talk about psychology and relationships and how all of this forms the way that you kind of move through life. So I anticipate he'll end up in some type of business. He's right now it's business entrepreneurship is his major.
Okay.
And so he'll go down the same road
Well,
probably.
I think it's interesting. I think a lot of times you'll see collegiate athletes end up being either salespeople or entrepreneurs. Because there's something I think that they learn in that about building relationships beyond their immediate family.
Yes.
And really close bonds of relationships. And those both can be beneficial for what those long-term relationships are with those individuals or people they meet along that, but also the ability and skills to build close relationships. Because as you know, being an entrepreneur, like you have to build relationships.
Yes.
It doesn't work if you aren't able to effectively build relationships.
I completely agree. And I think that it's about there's a game plan behind it too. I heard somebody say, you know, there's a lot of sports and baseball is a game. They were saying how they thought that baseball wasn't a sport and it was a game. And I thought, oh, that's really intriguing because I think business is a game.
Sure.
And so I think every morning when I wake up, I'm going, what's my game plan?
Yeah.
What am I going to do today? Who do I need to meet? Who have I met in the past that I haven't connected with most recently? So keeping those relationships alive, building on those ideas. It's like constantly meeting with people and going, what are you doing in your business that I'm not implying in my business? Right. And so I think relationships are incredibly important and making that maybe top priority, you know, and for me, I'm a people person. I love to just chat with people and dig into what is going on in their psychology. What are you guys doing? What's creative that you're creating that I didn't think of? And how am I going to take that and morph it into what it looks like in my business? I meet with a lot of people that are in very diverse businesses. So I don't know anybody locally that does the same thing that I do. However, I have a lot of really great business best friends that we play off of each other.
Sure.
And so after this, I'm heading to a meeting about, you know, what are we going to do for the next 4 months and how are we going to hold ourselves accountable? And having those relationships is important in entrepreneurship.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I think you said that I want to dig in just a little bit more is the way in which you described building those relationships, because I think it's best done when it springs from a genuine interest.
Yes.
In what those things are that you're asking about. Because if you're just asking just to check a box so that you can find out what they can do for you, that's like disaster.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Yes. And I think being an entrepreneur if you're not authentic, you're just, my most valuable asset that I have is my time.
Yeah.
So even though I spend most of my time on my business, having those relationships that are authentic and real and a give and a take are far more important than just a really quick, hey, what are you doing? You know, it's really diving in and going, what changed you? What did you do last year that you are eliminating this year? You know, so just getting really deep when you are getting into those relationships.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you stay at home mom for quite a while. You decide to take on this new challenge. You shape it around a decision to make sure that you can have kind of freedom and flexibility of your time. What does it look like when you're actually starting it then? What did it feel like emotionally when you're starting it? And what were like the practical steps you took?
Emotionally, so when I did this, I really went into it with the mindset of, hey, I have these two really great kids. I did pretty good. What if I just ran a business the same way that I ran my family? And so the idea was just keep doing what I am already doing, just apply it in a different way. So I do think that being a stay-at-home mom, being a parent, being a stay-at-home father, being all of those things, you're running a business.
For sure.
I don't think that there's much difference between, well, other than the emotion of your kids, but you've got the emotion of your employees, right? I don't see much difference in what I've applied to my business as to what I applied during that time frame of raising a family.
Which I think is really interesting. One of the things that I think really helps for anybody who's a stay-at-home parent is my experience with stay-at-home parents is most of the time they're doing it for the right reason.
Yes.
So their why or their purpose is really locked in. They understand the import of the responsibility it is to be a parent. You know, what it is that you're doing as a parent, why you would want to spend this time with these kids, what it is you're trying to do beyond yourself. And when you can take that same beyond yourself mentality, that greater purpose mentality to a business endeavor, then you're able to be more purpose-driven and successful because you can carry that forward. And I had never thought about it in that way until you just said that.
Yeah, and I think there's so many skills that go hand in hand with it. It's like the patience of, you know, your kid does something and you go, well, that's not the hill that I'm going to die on. So I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let them be the CEO of their own life. And I think that that's the same way as dealing with a client. I think it's the same way as dealing with an employee or a business partner or a referral partner or even, you know, somebody who's helping you build your business. I think it's all just making sure that you're in alignment with the greater picture.
We're going to roll this into kind of Beauty and the Beast a little bit as we kind of work through your story a little bit more.
Yeah.
I've written down a few quotes that I want to get your take on as we go. Okay.
Let's do it.
So Beauty and the Beast kind of starts with this underlying kind of narrator who's talking about this prince in a castle, right?
Yep.
And this old, you know, lady, this haggard lady shows up with a rose and is wanting to have, you know, safety and protection from this horrible storm that's happening outside.
Yes.
And she just basically says she'll give him this rose if he'll let her in, right? And he turns her away. And then the narrator says this line that I want to get your take on. She warned him not to be deceived by appearances, for beauty is found within. So that kind of frames up this whole story, right?
Totally frames up.
She warned him not to be deceived by appearances, for beauty is found within. So tell me about what that overall means to you. First off, for the story, but more importantly, for a decision to, you know, leave comfort and start something new.
It actually makes me a little bit choked up. So give me a second to just catch my breath. Don't ever underestimate anybody.
Sure.
Like everybody is there for the purpose of the good. And had he accepted her in all of her beauty, even though she didn't look like what she was delivering, if I remember correctly, it was like with this rose, he got all of this greatness. And I mean, he already was a prince and had all of these wonderful things, but it could have really escalated into something more. it's almost a double-edged sword, because then I also think, did he have to go through what he had to go through to become the person that he was? And so I think there's really two ways to look at it. And it's like, don't ever underestimate somebody, and also accept the journey that you've been given.
That is so insightful, because I think it's exactly right. If he didn't know it when she was there initially, which he didn't, then she was giving him the journey to go on so he could learn it, because that's exactly what he had to learn.
Yes.
Because he didn't appreciate it. He didn't appreciate that beauty comes from within. And so he had to experience that firsthand. She was actually teaching him. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
That was the gift to him.
That was his true gift.
Even though I'm sure it didn't feel like it initially, right?
And his greatest accomplishment. And I think that we can both agree, in starting a business and owning a business, there are those really gory, ugly parts that you think, I'm not going to make it through this.
Yeah.
And then when you do, you go, I'm so much better that I got that opportunity to have that really horrible thing happen.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I had that presented to me in a really surprising manner. And so I think that all of that, you get these little surprises throughout life, and the way that you handle them and the way that you move through them. I hope I'm not like the Beast. I hope it doesn't take me years and flowers dropping, but
sometimes it does.
And maybe a beautiful girl needs to walk into my life and let me know, like, hey, you're beautiful too. And it's about what's on the inside, and choose love. I think that those are really great messages.
For sure. What fears showed up for you when you were first thinking about this change and then starting this change to this new business you were doing?
Oh, all of them. Imposter syndrome to a T. I deal with it every single day. I think every time I walk into a room of really intellectual people and business-minded individuals who have been in the industry for 30 years, and here I come in, and I'm just excited and naive, and so I just do things without thinking. And I think, I'm not sure what the question was, but it just led me to this idea of, I think it's okay to just go.
Yeah.
And just do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fears hold us back from a lot of things.
Yes.
And the fear of that step and the fear of failure many times holds people back. Did it take you a while to overcome that fear? Or once you decided, did it just you just went?
I think I overcome it every day.
Okay.
So
fair.
I think it depends on the situation. I think that there's an event that you'll attend and you'll feel inadequate. I think that there's an event that you'll attend and you'll feel like the expert, and I think there is a scene in Beauty and the Beast where she says, step out of the shadow, and she wants to see who is her captor.
Yeah.
And it's like she sees him, and at first she's really taken aback, and then it's like she has kind of this softness that overcomes her and goes, oh, well, now that I've faced you, it's not too bad. Yeah.
When it comes to fear, and especially as you were taking the step to start a business, was your fear a fear of failure, or was it more of a fear of judgment from others?
I'm so embarrassed for this answer. Judgment of others.
Don't be embarrassed by that at all.
Yeah.
We are all thinking about judgment of others all the time. We all do. It's totally human.
Judgment of others.
Yeah.
I want to appear that I have it all together.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm just riding the wind. It's like, this is where this is taking me, and I'm just going to do it. As far as fear goes, I think that fear can be a little bit fun. It can be really great, right? And I think it's a good learning opportunity for all of us to find that part of us that goes, gosh, I did this really scary thing, and it was not scary at all. Yeah. And I overcame it, and gosh, what a funny story to tell. What a fun story for me to go, I had this horrible thing happen. I was afraid. I kicked the can down the road for 3 months. I didn't follow through on my commitments. I self-sabotaged. I did all of these things to make sure that I didn't have to face the beast coming out of the shadow. But then it's like you see it and you go, huh, well, that was really not at all what I was expecting. So
I think many times the fear that we have, we tell ourselves the worst possible case scenario, and one that might not even actually be possible, right? That we just convince ourselves is what might happen that then holds us back.
yeah.
But I think to your point, if we can accept that we will have fear and that that's not a bad thing, and then take those opportunities to face that fear, it can lead to something really great. It can lead to growth, obviously, and it can lead to new adventures that we otherwise wouldn't do. It's so interesting when I think about that in the context of like rides at Disneyland.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My kids are just the best, and we love going to Disneyland and Disney World. And each kid kind of goes through these phases of being scared of certain rides, right? My 13-year-old son, very, I'd say, conservative in his willingness to try new things. He is like the pickiest eater that I know. For a long time, like a lot of the rides he didn't like Pirates of the Caribbean,
Right.
because there's a drop.
Yes.
And it's not even that big.
But it's dark.
But it's dark, and there's a drop, and it kind of gives you a little...
And
a
it's
little,
ominous.
Yeah, and it gives you this
And
little
there's the
feeling in your tummy,
music.
right?
Yeah.
So he didn't like it. Even like when he was like 10 and 11 and 12, didn't like it. I'm like, this is not that scary of a ride. So then his sister, who's 10, and at the time that was first trying this, she was 8, barely tall enough to go on the Incredicoaster. You know what the Incredicoaster is,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's the roller coaster, right? With the
Yep.
loop. She's like, yeah, I want to go on it. And he's like, wait, my little sister's going? She's 3 years younger than me. My little sister's going on it?
Like, hold on.
And so he's had this fear for a long time. And because she was willing to, she empowered him to. A little bit of that, like fear of judgment, to be honest. Like I can't have her do it, not me. What's everybody going to think? But then does it.
Yeah.
And now it's his favorite ride. It's his favorite ride. For
Yeah.
a kid that didn't even like Pirates because it had a little bit of a drop. Now he can do the Incredicoaster.
And it's like he grew 2 feet that day, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yes, absolutely. And realized like, okay, I overcame that fear. And I actually got to experience what now is my favorite ride.
Yeah.
That I was holding myself back from experiencing because I wasn't
Yeah.
willing to. And sometimes, I'm kind of thinking out loud with you, sometimes it does take that encouragement from somebody else.
I was just going to circle back to that and say that's where those important relationships come into play, because you can call that friend and say, okay, I'm doing this, and can I call you when I'm done? Because I'm not sure I'm going to nail it. I don't know what's going to happen. And to hear them be your hype person and go, you've got this. You have done this way. You've done this way. And you've exercised this way. And you implemented this into your business. And look at where you were last year at this time. And then you hang up the phone and you go, okay, I have all the courage in the world, but I had to borrow it from my friend. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having people that we have a sense of belonging with.
Yes.
It's something that we all need.
Yeah.
I talk about this a lot, where there's kind of these 4 core human needs, and one of them is a sense of belonging. We all need it.
Yeah.
Even if we're introverts, we still need a sense of belonging. You just do. And when you have that, you can draw on that strength.
Yeah.
Okay, so another quote.
Okay.
It's going to be very similar.
Okay.
But I like it because it's like one of the funny, corny, like dad jokes that's in the show,
Okay.
but it fits, okay? So you remember Cogsworth, right? He's
Yeah,
the
of
little
course.
clock.
Yep.
And he's making he's making a joke, right?
Uh-huh.
And his joke is, if it's not Baroque, don't fix it. In other words, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
yes.
But Baroque being the joke that he was playing off of.
Yes.
And so with that, how does that fit into this idea of like the comfort trap that sometimes people fall into?
Ooh, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I almost wonder, are we ever really done? Are we ever really done with everything? There's always an opportunity to fix it. There's always an opportunity to revisit it, because the person that you are when you start your business is not the person that you are when you're 5 years in. And so it may not be Baroque, but there might be a newer, fresher style coming around the corner.
Yeah, I think that's right.
There's that renaissance of we're not we're no longer in the broke period.
Yeah.
So I think that there's always an opportunity to readdress everything in your business. And you're not going to do it all the time. You're not going to readdress every single thing. You would drive yourself mad. But there's always an opportunity to revisit and grow and adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this fits perfectly in line with a quote I've used in the past on this podcast, but when I was kind of going through this, it came up naturally, which is by Brene Brown,
Yes.
who we both adore.
Yep.
You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot have both.
100%.
Right? Because if we're going to try to fix something or change something or do something, there is courage that it takes. It took courage for you to say, I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom anymore. I'm going to do something. Not only am I going to do something, I'm going to do something a lot of people wouldn't do because it's really scary, which is I'm going to start a business.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and start a business. It's all on me. I got to go figure the whole thing out, right? I have no steady paycheck to rely on. I have no employer to rely on. It's all on me. And that takes a great amount of courage. So you take this chance, this opportunity, and obviously it takes a ton of courage to do. How did it end up playing out in, say, the first year that you did it? What challenges did you face?
Do you know, I think because of how naive I was in starting the business, I didn't have many challenges the first year. I think it was the second year when I really started to look at myself and go, okay, this isn't just about fun and learning anymore. I'm a real advocate of self-growth and development. And so that first year, I was just literally, let's just throw whatever to the wall and let's see what sticks.
Sure.
Let's try this, let's try that. Let's learn this thing. Let's go to this class. Let's get this education. And it was all about fun. And it was all about the journey. And it was all about building. And it was all about just me developing a different side of myself that I didn't develop for a little bit. And like I said, I do believe that parenting is running a business. Building a family is running a business. And at the same time, that first year was just a party. And then it was the second year that I went, oh, this could be real. I could actually be really successful at this, and I could make something out of this, and I could maybe have a little bit of legacy that I leave behind. And so I kind of went into that phase or chapter, if you will. And then it kind of turned into, oh my gosh, people are noticing me. I don't like that. I'm going to retreat and kind of hide a little bit, fear of judgment of others, right? Nobody was saying that I was doing it wrong. Nobody was saying that it wasn't the fastest way there. Nobody had any judgment upon me. But all of a sudden I went, did I waste a full year of my time? And now I look back and I go, it's my personality. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it.
Sure.
And so it has to be fun.
Yeah.
It has to be something that I enjoy. It has to bring me growth. It has to bring curiosity out of me. And so I think it wasn't until that second year that I started to go, oh, this is a serious thing. And now that I'm in my third year, I'm going, not only is this a serious thing, this is a fun thing.
Yeah.
And so it's been the combination of that first year and that second year that's now gotten me to this third year, and now almost my fourth year.
So this is so good. So there's a really famous author, public speaker. She's a professor. I think at Stanford currently, Angela Duckworth.
Okay, I've not heard of her.
She wrote a book called Grit.
Okay.
And she also did a TED Talk by the same name, Grit. So she did TED Talk first, then she wrote the book afterwards. And in it, she wrote, enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare.
Yes.
I mean, that fits so perfectly with what you're talking about.
I love that.
Right? Because, when you're starting a new adventure, once you overcome that initial fear, you do have some enthusiasm about it.
Yeah.
That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is pretty exciting. This
Yeah.
is new. I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to try that thing. What then separates, and this is the argument Dr. Duckworth makes in her book, that what separates then those who are high achievers versus not is the ability to endure past where that enthusiasm starts to wane a little bit, because sometimes things get hard. And when things get hard, if you can persevere through those, then that can take you to success. Whereas a lot of people take that opportunity, then hit a wall, and they quit.
Yeah.
They stop doing it.
Yeah.
They go do something else because they can't push through that initial enthusiasm bump. So what got you past that initial, like, okay, you got enthusiasm for it. In your second and in your third year, you still want it to be fun, but that enthusiasm kind of wall, it sounds like you kind of hit. What changed? What did you do to say, okay, that happened. That's kind of worn off. I'm going to keep going. What kept you going?
Community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Surrounding myself with like-minded people, putting myself in a position where when I can't pull myself through, I have somebody I can rely on. And it's somebody, again, it makes me emotional. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty teary today. I have an incredible group of people who believe in me more than I believe in myself.
It makes such a difference.
It does.
You know, and I think we don't fully appreciate what that can mean for us until we're in it.
Yeah.
But also what influence we can have on others if we're that for somebody else too.
Yes. And I'm not letting any of those people down.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If they're my biggest fan, I'm going to show up for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the best show that I can give them. I'm going to play the best game that I can play. I'm going to give everything that I've got because I don't want to go back to them and say, thank you so much for cheering me on. I just decided this wasn't for me.
Sure.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think community is really, really important.
Something we both have in common is we both participate in the Chamber of Commerce. We're both pretty involved in the South Valley Chamber of Commerce. What role has that played in you for helping you to build relationships and build community?
Oh my gosh, the education piece that I have gotten from that community in and of itself, they push me. They put me on a panel. They do these things that take me out of my comfort zone. They introduced me to Ryan at RCG Law and says, come be on my podcast. And I go, I don't know, I can't breathe. What am I going to do? So I think it puts me in situations that I otherwise would not have been able to have the opportunity to show up in.
Before we jump back in, can I ask you a quick favor? If you're enjoying the journey so far, will you like, rate, and subscribe to our show? It helps us reach more people like you. We can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it takes people to make the dream a reality. You know, historically, when I started practicing law, the first firm that I started working for was a very entrepreneurial firm, for sure, and would encourage me to do things that were networking. But the really only thing that was BNI.
Oh,
and BNI is fine.
it's great.
And
if
for
you
some
could
people
work
who
it.
can just really embrace it, it's great.
Yeah.
I still have not found a love for it. For me, I always just felt like everyone's being forced to use the other people in the group. And what if somebody stinks, right? What if somebody's not very good? Or, you know, I always like had this stuff kind of holding me back. And I
Well,
wouldn't.
Ryan, I think we're both entrepreneurs, so we don't want to be told what to do.
That's exactly right.
We chose to be the boss
Like,
for a reason.
I want to give a referral to somebody because I believe in them, not because they happen to
Agreed.
pay a fee and show up in this group every week with
and
me,
I don't
right?
want an assignment. My business is my assignment,
Yeah.
and I can't take on any more tasks.
And so it's so, but yet,
Yes.
I'm gonna say not but and
And
okay, because we say yes and we both have assignments with South Valley Chamber, right?
It's a service.
I think that's exactly right. With and I see, I don't want to be a BNI basher because for some people it works so well and they can embrace it and it's great.
Yeah.
Just for me, it hasn't. But I think you're right. In the South Valley Chamber, it's just an opportunity to serve that I've been provided.
It is.
And what's the difference for you with that?
It's absolutely that. So in the other group, it's a situation where it feels like a task.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I don't need any more assignments. But if I'm going to serve my fellow entrepreneur or my fellow business owner or my, somebody who's even an employee who's building a business for somebody else, if I can provide something, a relationship, a tool, a referral, an opportunity, to me, man, that just fills my heart. That inflates me all day long, and I just have nothing to learn but by giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And initially, when I joined the South Valley Chamber, I took the Business Accelerator class, which is where we met.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, okay. I mean,
Now what?
I went. That's fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm. It's okay. I got it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't involved. What I found is when I could like embrace it and say, okay, there's actually something more here because I mean, now for the last 6 months, I've got a business partner here. So Joey Carlson has come on, but prior to that, it was just me. And so when it's just you, it's just all on your shoulders, and there's so much more weight to it. And I joined some other mastermind groups with like family law attorneys across the country, which was great. Learned a lot from them, invaluable. But I didn't have people here. And I'm kind of a social person. And I realized like I'm passing up all these opportunities to be involved in something where I can go and socialize without it having to feel like it's just people wanting something from me.
Right.
And when I started to go more to some of the events and some of those things, I realized that there was a lot of people like me in that regard. I'm not there just so I can go get some referrals for my firm. I'm there because I can learn from them. I can learn about their businesses. And if I happen to come across somebody that can use their businesses, great. But also if I can share some experience with them about, that I've learned, so they don't have to learn that the hard way, or they can do the same for me. I started realizing the value of community, like you said. Right. The value of belonging to a group of people who really are just trying to do the right thing out there.
And they are. And I think that there's a level in me where it's that stay-at-home mom. I'm a nurturer. I love to just go in and support somebody and be a part of something. We had an event just the other night with some young entrepreneurs who had an opportunity to present some business plans, and to listen to them was so incredibly inspiring. I went home that night and I readdressed my own business plan. And the feeling that I got to look them in the eye and go, you have a brilliant idea. And what you have inside of you is needed out there in the world, and don't quit. Keep going, keep doing, like live that part of you. To me, man, that just fills my cup.
For sure. And when our cup is filled, we can be the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
It's interesting. After you were a judge in that event, which was amazing. I was just there as an attendee. Afterwards, I talked with a few of the participants. And one of them in particular had received a compliment from you during her presentation. And she was just beaming about it. And it just reinforced for me the impact that we can have on others when we'll recognize them, when we'll give them that encouragement, when we'll give them a sincere and genuine compliment, that it gives them that strength to do more and to go higher than they would otherwise. Again, that's just kind of the value of that community, right? Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to take us back to Beauty and the Beast real quick here. So, a couple of different things and angles I think we can take here on this topic with Beauty and the Beast is first with Maurice. Belle's dad.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about Belle's dad when it comes to this idea of like trying something new and not having the fear to do it.
Oh
How does that apply to Maurice?
He might, I don't know. I have so many favorite characters in this movie. They have so many. I don't know who the writers were, but man, they nailed it. Maurice is so fun. I mean, he's curious and he's interested and he thinks outside the box and he's got these great ideas and he's going, oh, I don't know, it doesn't work. And then at the last minute, it's like, it worked. I'm going to the show. I'm going right now. And then he runs off and it's like the excitement that he has. And I think every entrepreneur has Maurice in him.
Sure. You have to.
Yeah,
right?
You have to
try new things. And what's so interesting too about, I think, the relationship between him and Belle is when we look at Belle's willingness to not worry about the judgment of others.
Right.
I think that comes from her dad very clearly.
Yeah.
Because he was unafraid of that.
Oh my gosh. And that whole town just devoured his curiosity. Like they just looked at him like, what a kook.
Yeah. Like Gaston said, crazy old Maurice, right? That's
crazy old Maurice.
Yeah.
Like off he goes again. Like, and then his poor daughter that, she doesn't have this father figure that is traditional and teaching her the way of the world. And it's like, she got the best education that she could by his curiosity.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think in part two, right, we could probably say that led to her curiosity of story and books and reading.
Yes.
Because she had this hunger for, thinking about things differently and reading these stories. And I mean, and it's like, again, the writers did this intentionally, obviously, but when Gaston is first trying to approach her,
Woo
right?
her,
And she's got the book, and he's like,
And he
"What are you
takes
doing
it.
reading? Like, what are you
It's
reading
upside down.
and thinking? Like, what are you doing?"
Yes, you're too beautiful to
Yeah.
be thinking.
Yeah, right. Whereas, like for her, it's like, yeah, that's what everybody should do.
Yes.
And I know that because I've got a father who's instilled that love for learning and curiosity in me, which I think is really interesting and kind of sets the stage for what her journey is.
Total side note, but one of my favorite lines from Beauty and the Beast is he says, and we'll have strapping young men, 6 perhaps, and she goes, dogs, and it's just like her ability to go, life is more fun than just strapping young men and doing things right, and let's just play with puppies and let's have fun. It's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
And
it's so great too that she's just like not interested in him.
not even in the least.
She sees well beyond, right? Like, not only is you sometimes have to ignore the appearance outside to understand the beauty within, beauty without can deceive from the lack of beauty from within, which I think is what we see in Gaston, right?
Yes.
Maybe not a lot of substance there, obviously.
Not a lot of substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clearly doesn't really appreciate what the value of a partner really is.
Right. It's just, hey, we'll make beautiful babies and let's do that, but his charisma and character is also undeniable because he has all these other women that are wooing him as well.
Yeah.
So it's like there's somebody out there for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's obviously a lot of things that he does wrong, but there are some things that he doesn't do that are terrible.
Right.
Like he sees this beast that exists and like
let's
rallies
conquer.
the town.
Yeah.
Like, well, we got to protect the people from this horrible beast.
Yeah.
Now, misguided, and obviously we know because we know the ending that he wasn't really a beast at all. He's this prince and just needed to have this curse lifted. But there are a few redeeming qualities for Gaston.
Always. There is in every one of us, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is interesting when you think about Disney villains where sometimes you can see those. Now, there's other ones where they're not. It was interesting. I was having this discussion with somebody the other day about some other Disney villains, and but a lot of them do, like Hades. It's his job.
It's what he does.
Like he's supposed to be, he's the god Hades. He's supposed to do the things that he is. He wants to capture Hercules, and it's kind of his job. But he's also like pretty funny,
hysterical,
very entertaining villain. One that doesn't though is the bad guy in Mulan.
Oh,
like he's the Hun.
Yes.
And, I mean, he is just like there's nothing. They wrote that in a way that there's really nothing redeeming for him. He's there to conquer China. That's all he wants to do is take him over. He's just like purely the bad guy through and through, which is a little bit out of the norm for what Disney usually has. They usually have some redeeming qualities in these villains, but in that particular one, I couldn't really see any.
Maybe tradition.
Maybe he's got tradition. I mean, I guess he's trying to buck tradition though, right? He wants to overthrow the emperor of China. He wants to conquer all of China. He certainly. I mean, I guess. He leads his people with passion, and they follow him.
Yeah.
Right, but I guess
which could be terrifying.
Wicked leaders can do, right?
Mean,
wicked leaders certainly can do.
We've seen that happen, and it doesn't always turn out well.
It does not. Yeah, it can definitely be bad. Yeah. So when we look at this continued journey, right? So Maurice ends up trying to go, is it the fair or something like that, with his discovery, and he ends up getting lost and coming upon this castle, and obviously gets captured by the beast, and then Belle's got to go save him.
Yeah.
So. What do you think that she's facing in those moments of what might hold her back from doing it, why she decides to go do it, and then why she decides to make the deal that she makes to stay there and trade her life for her dad's?
Oh gosh, it's such a great question. 3 parts. So what holds her back in the initial decision?
Like, is there anything what would the fear be that would hold somebody back? And what courage does she have to find to go and then to trade herself?
I think the courage to know that he's safe, and he isn't alone, and I think that with the compassion that she holds for people, it shows in the entire show that she's just incredibly compassionate and accepts people for who they are, and the thought of her dad being alone out wherever and not having an answer as to what happened to him is maybe what drove the courage. Gosh, I think she's just courageous.
For sure she is.
Yeah, I think she's just like, why wouldn't I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't I do this?
And I think also why would she not just go do it herself?
Yeah.
She I think she in those moments obviously knows that Gaston and many other villagers don't think a lot of her dad.
Yeah.
They're not going to believe that he's really in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she doesn't spend the time or waste the time to go try to convince them to help her.
Right.
She's like, well, look, if this is where we're at, I'm just going to take the step. I'm just going to go find it myself, right? Like I can do it.
I could do it.
I'm not going to be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think it's probably an easy choice for anybody to like trade their freedom for their significant other.
Right.
Or not significant other, I guess their family member, their
Yeah.
immediate family member.
Yeah.
Probably an easy decision for her to trade her life for her dad's. But then, where does courage and fear show up for her once that happens? So she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, her dad's set free. She's now committed to being in this castle with this beast. What does that journey look like?
Another one of my favorite lines from that movie is when Maurice says, I've lived a full life. Like, you have your whole life ahead of you. Don't do this. And I think in her mind, she is so comfortable in herself. She's okay being alone. She knows that doesn't feel scary to her, is to be alone. I think that the one thing that has always been really difficult for me to understand is how she lets her dad go, knowing that she's never going to see him again.
Yeah.
But maybe there was a small part of her that was like, I'll figure that part out when I get there.
Sure.
I'll cross that bridge when it comes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be present. I'm going to do what I need to do right now. I'm going to gather information. This is an inventor's mind, right? I'm going to gather the information that's surrounding me, and then I'll make the decision about my dad later.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder, just trying to be in the head of Belle, like, I'll just deal with what I've got. I'm going to use what I have, and then that decision is later. Maybe.
No, I think that's interesting. Here's something that, like, I was rewatching Beauty and the Beast last night with my 5-year-old, which was so fun. And she loves it. She loves Belle. I noticed, and once you said it, it reminded me, when Maurice is first there in the castle before the beast comes, he comes upon Cogsworth and Lumiere.
Right.
Right? And he's not freaked out.
Not even in the least.
He's just like, oh,
Well,
this is
hello,
interesting.
fellas.
Like, he's looking at Cogsworth. He's like, I wonder
Like,
how this
what is-
works. Like, what's going on here,
what is
right?
this thing?
Figuring out Lumiere. And then the little, dog ottoman comes
Yes,
up and he's like,
yes.
all right, I'll put my feet up, right? And Mrs. Potts comes and he's like, well, great, I'll
Well, hello.
drink some drink.
And then little Chip
Yes.
is on his mustache, and you
it's
just
tickling his mustache, right?
Right?
Like, and he's just like fully embracing this experience that
Yeah.
anybody else, maybe in that village, would have been like, oh no, this is terrible, this is bad,
Like,
this
this
is
is
new,
horrifying.
I can't
Yeah.
do this, so I have to be scared.
Yeah.
And he embraces it. And I
Yeah.
think to your point, I think Belle does that same thing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, she's scared of the beast. I don't
Sure.
think there's any doubt initially she is, but not of the other
She's
furniture.
curious.
She is curious.
I don't know if there's a lot of fear.
Okay,
there.
that's fair.
I think she's taken aback.
She's like, what is this that's
What is
new?
this?
Let me think through this.
Let me think through this.
And then with the furniture that's there, she like embraces it just like her dad did.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll talk with these alive
Oh,
furniture
yes.
items. Like,
Here-
okay, great. Yeah, I'll talk with you.
Here's the dresser. Yes, I'll
Yeah.
get dressed from
Yeah,
your
totally.
innards.
And then she's like talking with them about, oh, well, I'm not going to go do that with him if he's going to act that way. So she's already like confiding and building a relationship with
Right.
this furniture
Yes.
that's alive, which is so interesting.
And then she asked them for her trust.
Yeah.
And then she says, do you trust me to go throughout the castle? Can I do that? And they're like, oh, we shouldn't do that, but you seem trustworthy.
Yeah.
So it's like they have this instant sense of relationship.
And I think, it's an interesting contrast too when you look at Cogsworth and Lumiere, right? Because Cogsworth is more of that, just like his joke was like, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to do things the way they're supposed to. We're going to follow all the rules. If the master says it, we're doing it. And Lumiere's kind of like, well, hey.
But there's a girl here.
Be our guest,
And-
right?
and-
like, we want you to be here and,
she's
hang
beautiful,
out. Yeah.
and-
Let's have fun.
Yeah.
That like, I think
And set the
stereotypical
table,
Frenchman.
'cause we're
Yes,
going.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you have that interesting contrast too in the way that those two kind of approach like rules and relationships and stepping into something that's maybe different and scary.
Yes.
Lumiere still has this almost childlike hope.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
no, we're going to do this and everything's going to work out. It's going to be fine, right? Like Belle and the master they'll build a relationship and it's fine because we're all going to be saved. Like he's
Yeah.
got this hope.
Could it get any worse?
Yeah.
I think is maybe one of the themes of the
Yeah.
movie is it's like, well, what else could go wrong here?
Yeah.
Let's just live in the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's here. Let's embrace this
Yeah.
this interesting opportunity. And so as the story goes and Belle and the Beast start kind of connecting and building this relationship, walk us through kind of what lessons you have from the way that kind of developed leading up to kind of the end of the story.
I would see a lot of themes around. I don't want to use the term forgiveness, but just acceptance.
Sure.
Like, you know what? If you don't want to do it my way, then fine. But, and maybe not being stubborn. I don't know.
I think forgiveness could apply because look, ultimately, the Beast captured and imprisoned her father, and then imprisoned her, even though she was in a room and not in the actual jail cell. But like, he still did something that was harmful and kept her from her dad. And so I do think that there was some forgiveness that had to occur. She had to be willing to forgive him for doing that. And in so doing, I mean, part of that's what enabled him to grow. Because if she just continued holding that against him, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to build a relationship.
And the small glimmers of compassion from him, like in the most backwards way, like, you will come to dinner. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, he's inviting me to dinner, but he's making me go to dinner. Yeah. Like, there's some compassion there, Yeah. So I think she was able to see through, just like Gaston. Sure. It's like she kind of went, yeah, you're just a little different, but I don't dislike you. I'm not interested. Yeah. So patience. Maybe she had some patience behind her too.
For sure she did. Yeah. And she had to be. Yeah. If she wasn't willing to be patient with him, again, I think it would just fail. They wouldn't have built a relationship at all. One of the things I heard one time is like, oh, what did the Beast really do? Like, he let her go access a library that he already had. But here's what's interesting. I took a different look at it when I was, again, watching the movie again last night. Because it's a stark contrast. I mean, what we have is this is a tale that was from, I don't know when it was originally written, but a while ago. I don't know, 1500, something like that. I mean, I'm going to get this wrong and then we're going to have to correct it. But it was a long time ago when this story was originally written. And this idea of Gaston not wanting her to read a book was pretty common, actually. Yeah. That was actually more the norm at the time, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can't think, you can't read. That's not allowed. Well, that was actually a pretty common thing. So if we look at it from that lens and say, not only is the Beast like willing to show her this, he's like, you can have all these. This whole thing is yours. That actually would be very different.
And accepting.
Yeah. Like, oh, you want to read? You want to have a mind of your own and do those things? Absolutely. Yeah. Like, here is this for you so that you can do that. I'm going to embrace that, even though the rest of society might say, no, you don't. Right. You don't do that. He was willing to say that it is. So that actually might have been a bigger deal than I think in today's world we would think it was. Right. Because now we're like, well, yeah, so you've got a library and you're allowed to walk in it.
Like, big deal.
Good for you, buddy. Yeah. Right? You got this huge library. Yeah. But actually, maybe that was. Yeah. Maybe that was something. Yeah. So as they go, I mean, it's the classic song, right? Angela Lansbury singing Beauty and the Beast, Tale as Old as Time, where they start to build this relationship and realize that there's more to each other than they had first thought and realized, and start to build this relationship. What do you think it took for the Beast to be able to tell her that she could go?
I was just thinking about this, and I was going to present the question to you. It was like, at what point did he soften enough to go, your freedom is more important than mine? Yeah. And she had given that to her dad. Yeah. And so it's a really beautiful thing that kind of carries throughout the movie, that it was at one point he just decides, like, I love you more than I love my freedom. So just go. Yeah.
It actually makes me think of a song in Frozen.
Okay.
You know the song Fixer Upper?
Okay, I'm not a big Frozen fan. My kids are too old.
That's probably true. Oh, that makes sense. Well, there's a song in there where these little rock creatures are singing, and it's because one of the characters they've known for a long time, he's kind of a fixer-upper, right? Okay. He's got some rough edges, right?
He's the Beast.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's kind of, this kind of grumpy guy. And one of the things they say in there is that love is this strong force, and it's powerful and strange. In essence, that love is the way that somebody can change, because you can't force them to. Right. And this powerful and strange characteristic is what allows them to do it. So when we think about love being this force that's powerful and strange, and you can't force somebody to change, I think that's where ultimately this led to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Belle showed him kindness, and that kindness spurred by love. Not in this situation, it wasn't romantic love initially, right? Just showing him kindness and love in that way that helped him to make the change internally. And then when he did, you're exactly right. He realized that her freedom was more important than his, that it was okay if he had this curse. It was okay if ultimately they end up, suffering from whatever the results of this curse were because her freedom was more important. Which
I
was a
think
huge
it
change.
goes back to that sense of community that we've already kind of talked about. Is it's like, man, it just feels so good to encourage somebody. Yeah. It feels so good to tell somebody that they're capable. It feels so good to point out to somebody else all of their great qualities.
Yeah.
And as selfish as it is, it really does make me feel better.
For sure.
It makes me want to give more. Yeah. And so there's that. And it's like, my cup is full. I'm okay. Go. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this quote that I found as well that I think really fits this, and want to get your take on it. And actually, it leads directly to what you talked about at the beginning, with what this enchantress was offering to him. The quote's from Ryan Holiday. It's called "The Obstacle Is the Way," and it says, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition." So I love them. I'll read it again. The obstacle in the path becomes the path.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
What's your take on that when it comes to this story?
Okay, so the obstacle is the path.
Yeah, the obstacle in the path becomes the path.
Becomes the path. Well, that's some really deep stuff, Ryan.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just feel like, are we constantly overcoming something? We're always revisiting. We're always rebuilding. We're always inventing. We're always creating. And maybe we're a little bit of alchemists in a way. That it's like we have this alchemy in our life that we can do whatever we want with whatever's in front of us.
Yeah.
And we can either fight it or play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we reframe it this way, that it's no longer an obstacle, that it actually is the path. I think that's what leads to every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition.
Yeah.
Exactly like you said.
Yeah.
So for the beast, the obstacle of becoming a beast was actually the pathway that he needed to walk to grow, to learn to love somebody else. And in learning to love Belle and being willing to free her and put somebody else's needs over his own was the path. That was the path. That's the growth he needed to have.
That is the growth that he needed to have.
Yeah.
So to flip the script onto you.
Yeah.
So do we have to have that? Or if he would have accepted that sooner, would he have been at such a battle for so long?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think the answer lies in the overarching story of our lives. Are there certain things where we can overcome them pretty quickly? Do we learn that lesson fast? Yes. Are there others where we're only going to learn the lesson if the obstacle is bigger and it takes us longer? I think the answer is yes. I think we are all going to face really big obstacles that in the process of overcoming that obstacle is how we grow in ways we couldn't have otherwise. Yeah. So I think it just depends. So like this story is emblematic of like this one particular thing. And yes, if the prince had just accepted her and brought her in, then it would have, but that's because that would be a lesson that he didn't need to learn. He wouldn't have needed to learn the lesson of loving somebody else more than your own comfort.
Yeah.
But he needed to learn it because he didn't know it. Emblematic of him turning her away. Now he's got to go through this process to really learn what that is, and it becomes a big one. Because I think we can all relate that we all have very big obstacles that we, at some point in time in our life, face that require a lot more of us than smaller obstacles or things that are easier for us to overcome.
I almost feel like if Gaston was the only option, could he have been her obstacle?
Oh, it's so interesting that you say that, because actually we had this discussion with Joey and myself on an episode of this podcast that if Belle had shown him the kindness and love, could he have overcome?
Would he have softened?
Yeah, could he have overcome being the kind of egotistical,
macho
guy, right?
that he
A little bit
was.
narcissistic, right?
Yeah.
Because he actually had some good qualities.
Because he had a lot of what the beast was going on. He was just angry with himself or
Yeah.
what. I don't know what it was
Yeah.
that was going on with Gaston, but it's like, was that the practice run for her to deal with the beast?
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I think it does show that, when we are willing to take that time, that people can change.
Yeah.
People really are capable of change. It has to come from them. We can't force it. But I think showing kindness and love to those people is the pathway to that happening.
I agree. And maybe there was that familiarity of her relationship with Gaston that gave her an opportunity to go, I've done this before.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's not, this small potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It totally was.
So it's like
So-
sometimes throughout life, we have these obstacles that we approach and we go, oh, this is just a little bump. But then sometimes they're mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we draw on the past experiences we
bumps.
had. We
Yeah.
draw on what it was like for her father to be creative and curious, but also be rejected by other people,
Yeah.
right? What did she learn from seeing him do that and being okay
Yeah.
of being free from the worrying about the judgment of others?
Mm-hmm.
What did she learn from Gaston, pursuing her and her, approaching that situation? And then she draws on all those experiences to
Yeah.
lead where she needs to, which is true love, right? I guess
It
that's
is,
ultimately what
yeah.
they have is true love.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take us to our this or that segment, okay?
Okay.
So the idea is I'm going to give you two things, and you just got to say which one you choose,
'Kay.
okay?
Okay.
Might be controversial, all
Okay,
right?
let's go.
And you got to defend it, all right?
Okay.
No, they won't be bad. Village life or castle life?
Oh, I'm such a people person. Oh, but I love those characters. They are the people. Beach life.
Okay, okay. Maurice's workshop or the library in the castle?
Library in the castle. I'm a voracious reader.
Okay, big
Yeah.
reader. That'd be a good one then.
Yeah.
Okay, dinner with Lumiere or tea with Mrs. Potts?
Oh man, these are tough. Wow. Well said. I love a good time. Lumiere.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Look, like it, being in the song "Be Our Guest,"
I
like
mean,
all
come
that
on.
pomp and circumstance, I'd love
Yeah,
it. I'd
me
eat
too.
it up. Ballroom dance or exploring the Forbidden West Wing?
Oh, I romanticize everything. The ballroom dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Such a great scene too. So
Yeah.
well animated
Yes.
in that movie. Like
Yeah.
it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Okay, same. Solo road trip or group vacation?
Man, these are tough. Solo road trip.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have guessed when you said you're a people person. I was for sure like, oh, this is easy group vacation. No, solo road trip. So interesting.
Sometimes.
Okay. Sometimes you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You need that cathartic, just
Yeah.
clear your head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, here's one that I think I know the answer now, but I'm going to go with it anyways. Yellow ball gown or blue village dress? You know, the one that Belle wears initially when she's
Yes.
walking through the town, or the ball gown when she's doing the ballroom dance.
Can I have the dresser full of all of the garb?
Done. You
Yeah,
get it.
I forget the dresser's name, but yeah, I want the drawers full of all of it.
Okay, totally fair. Totally fair. Okay, here's our rapid fire. So
Okay.
it's just the first thing to come to your mind, okay? Favorite Disney movie?
Lion King.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, another from the Disney decade,
Yeah.
Disney Renaissance. It's a great one. Favorite Disney song?
I'll come back.
Okay. Favorite Disney princess?
Oh gosh, I love all of them. Mulan.
She's so great.
She's so great.
Favorite Disney hero or heroine?
Aladdin.
Okay, I like it. I thought you were going to go back to Mulan.
No.
But I like Aladdin. I
Yeah.
like that one. He's great. Favorite Disney villain?
Hades.
He's so good. He's so
so
good.
good.
I love Hades. Okay, which enchanted object would you want as your best friend? So you think about all the different characters that were there in the castle in Beauty and the Beast.
She's
which
so
one?
sassy. The duster.
Oh yeah,
She's
she
so
is.
sassy
She
and
is
just
sassy.
like a girl's girl.
Okay,
and
I love
yes,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great one. I was not expecting that one, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. Your ultimate dinner guest.
My dad.
Okay,
Yeah.
that speaks a lot.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's go back to favorite Disney song.
Can I pick from Hannah Montana, The Climb? Is that a
Sure.
Disney song?
Hannah Montana is definitely Disney.
Yeah. I think she sings it in her Hannah Montana movie, right?
Boy, I'm not a Hannah Montana like aficionado, but I'm here for it.
I'm gonna say that one.
Okay, good. I have not gotten that one as an answer yet, so
Okay.
I like it. I like
Okay.
it because it's something
Yeah,
different.
it might not be right. It might not be Disney, but under the umbrella of her being Hannah Montana in the movie. Yeah.
That's great then. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, I love it. Okay, so as we kind of think about kind of your closing reflection thoughts about Beauty and the Beast, about this kind of journey that she went on, starting new chapters, fear, stepping into it, what are some closing reflections that you have? And then after that, we'll take us into our 3 actionable takeaways.
Closing reflections on
On the overall movie and kind of what you've kind of learned from it, what it kind of teaches us overall that will kind of lead us into our 3 takeaways.
Gosh, there are so many things that I take away from this movie. It's just rich with lessons and knowledge and wisdom. See things for deeper. Look deeper.
Yeah.
Don't settle on your first impression.
Yeah, I think that's really great. Sometimes that first impression will keep us from doing something. It'll when we too quickly make a judgment. That judgment's based in fear, and that fear keeps us from being courageous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what we see from Belle and from Maurice is their willingness to be curious, their willingness to try something new, even when they don't know the pathway forward, when they don't know what the answer is going to be, in taking on a challenge, again, with courage to do it and with curiosity.
Yes.
Okay, so what we like to give everybody at the end of every episode is 3 specific things that somebody can put into action today or this week. Okay, so what are 3 actionable takeaways that you could give to somebody?
3 actionable takeaways. I'm going to say be present in your space and use what you have.
Okay.
You have a lot of access to a number of things, so you don't have to go out looking for anything. Use what you have. I think Belle took her opportunity in the castle, befriended these characters, used what she had, and was able to really get what she wanted, which was to have her family in that beautiful castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2. Okay, I thought about this, and it had something to do with Gaston and the Beast. And we kind of already covered it a little bit, and now I'm drawing a blank on what it was.
I mean, I think one of the things that I heard as we talked, and also I think we talked about a little bit before, which was kind of analyzing if it's the right step and then drawing on your past experiences, both good and bad, to learn.
Yes. Yes, using both to learn. Looking at your past and knowing, okay, this tool actually has carried me to this point. And so drawing on your past and being able to use those opportunities and those lessons and wisdoms that you've come along the way. Use your Gastons to overcome your beasts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
And then, one of the things we talked about before too was kind of the next thing would be analyzing if you're doing it because the world wants you to or because it's authentically you.
Yes. So this is a big Maurice play, but also a very big Beast play.
Yeah.
So it's like he was presenting himself in a way where that matriarch or whoever she was that showed up at the door, I can't remember, but where she was saying, hey, you're not showing up authentically, and I'm going to push you there.
Yeah.
And then there was Maurice, who was like this, nutty professor who was like, I don't care what any of you guys think. I'm having a great time and I'm doing fun things.
For sure.
And even with Belle going, I love to read and I don't care if you guys think that that's weird and I've got my nose buried in a book. So I think being truly authentic, and authenticity always wins. Yeah.
And then, lastly, I think, one of the things that once someone's taken the opportunity to be present, look at what they have access to, draw on their past experiences, and decide if they're going to do something that's for the world or authentically themselves. I think the last thing is really just take the first step. Got to take that first step, no matter how small,
Yep.
no matter how minute.
Yep.
That very first step starts the momentum. You've got to start it somewhere. So starting from that, analyzing, and then starting.
And I think sometimes that step is just speaking it out loud. This is my idea. This is what I believe.
Speaking it into existence.
Speaking it into existence. Yeah, I do too.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thank you for
on
having
the
me.
episode today. Really enjoyed talking with you about one of my favorites, Beauty and the Beast. Certainly a classic, a tale as old as time.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing your continued future success with Kenbry Capital, with all the great things you're doing for others in the South Valley Chamber and the community.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
As you leave this conversation, remember that yes, the past can hurt, and you can either run from it or you can learn from it. So here's to learning and finding joy in the journey. See you real soon.